shit right with me a Billy. Separate friends from my enemies. Buy my mama house and curse out my father repeatedly. Yes, you gave life to me, but I know that you just never believe, yeah. People gon' hate, niggas never wanna see you be great. Look at me now, I know I'm on the way to my teachers and traders. All that I can say, is okay, 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 okay. Y'all hear me now, y'all hear me now, y'all hear me now. Okay, 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 okay. Y'all hear me now, y'all hear me now, y'all hear me now. You can never be a boss if you don't know what I say. This crush to the game like I do for David. Bringing up niggas I would never really trust. I put that on all I love. I ain't following them all for the show. You never really notice till you get older. Everybody really got their own image. Say they wanna see you win it, then they gon' dismiss you. Okay, look at me now, I look down on my head. And as I come through the yard, but you pay. All about my money, I'm all about my credit. And all that bullshit, I won't be a baby. You wanna party, I'd rather record. Nobody make no shit no more. Moving in time, that's my major key. I know that all I have finally see me. Okay, 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 okay. Y'all hear me now, y'all hear me now, y'all hear me now. Okay, 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 okay. Y'all hear me now, y'all hear me now, y'all hear me now. Everybody know respect, but it go both ways. Never trust the person that can look you in the face. Say you happy for me, but I know you telling lies. Got them looking like Jordan when they all cry. Showed in the plan, but they don't look. I remember selling drinks just to buy my books. I remember writing hooks just to pass time. Little did them niggas know it was the last time they would see me trying to write for. Seeing post the pictures like I'm hype for. Blowing up my phone, I cause I ignore. Every time my phone be ringing, they be wanting favors. Reading in the text like, what you doing lately? I'm at work, and I don't really think I'm coming home soon. Really can't explain, but I'll show you. This is what I owe you. Really that I got damn things for everybody that told me to rap or sing. I'm up right now. I'm the referee, I call the shots right now. No, she mad, could be ass right now. Everything changed, it's not the same. It's not the same, I like it. So I'm going back now. Really in my bag now. Finally got a voice. Everybody looking. Young kid from Brooklyn. Okay, 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 okay. Y'all hear me now, y'all hear me now, y'all hear me now. Okay, okay, okay. Y'all hear me now, y'all hear me now, y'all hear me now. Hey, I'm also on YouTube, Ifa Abeyo. So I'm streaming live on YouTube too. So I need to build up the platform. But welcome to Get Mug Monday. That was Devon Terrell, and y'all hear me now, right? First of all, let me greet Malaikum Nasala, Benicion to all my elders, Santo to all of the younger ones, Hey Puddin' to my babies, What's up to my folk, to my hood, my ghetto, my dog pound. What up, dog? Hey. So yesterday I posted a question. What will you not do in your spiritual life? Like you'll have people that will, for $1, they'll hurt a kid or they'll make someone into like a puppy, like, love sick over someone. They will try to kill someone, take a life. They will fuck someone's life up and they don't care. They just want that $1. Or anything, whatever it is. Like, what will you not do? And I'm talking about like you'll stand your ground. No matter if your lover, your husband, your kids, your family, they go, yo, you need to do it. And you go, no, I'm not doing that. If your godparents tell you, no, you have to do that. And you go, nah, I'm not going to do it. What will you stand on? What will you stand on? That's the question that I asked everybody. Like, what will you not do? I don't care who tell you, yo, you got to do it. You got to do it. And you're like, nah, I can't. Like I said, I'm also live on YouTube. So, hey, beautiful. So if y'all want to jump over on YouTube, you can. Hey, post it, share it, let people know on Facebook. I'm also on YouTube, Ifa's Journey on YouTube. So, share, post, all that. But, ask a question. Doesn't matter. But anyway, I will not, right? Because these are things that I was raised on, right? And it's just certain things that I just won't do. I'm not going to do. I can't do it.
it is foreign to me. And people will be like, well, you have to do it. No, you got to do it. You do it and tell me how it works. But I'm not doing it. Like, I don't care. I don't eat peanuts in the house. Peanuts in the shell. I don't give a fuck who eat it. And if I see you eating peanuts in your house, guess where I'm going? Outside. I'm going outside. I don't care if you are like, oh, well, your godparents said you got to do it. No, I'm not doing it. Like, no. I was raised, peanuts mean police. Call me old fashioned, call me the superstitious queen, whatever. There are certain things I'm just not doing. I can't phantom me doing it. I don't laugh when the coffin go by. I'm not going to sit there and laugh. I'm not going to crack a joke. I'm not going to do none of that. I'm going to hold a button. You're going to catch me. And if I don't have a button, the person next to me be like, yo, let me, don't think I'm crazy, but yo, can I hold your button? Like that's just embedded in me. Call me crazy, but that's just embedded in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's embedded in my kids. It's embedded. Like, there's no way around that. We can't even phantom that. If you drop pepper in your crib, I'm out. I don't give a fuck. I'm out. Like, yo, bye. I'm out. My kids will get up and be like, yo, what you drop? Pepper. Yeah, okay, I'm out. I'm going outside. I'll talk to you later. It is remote. It's just in our head. And people be like, oh, that's superstition. Well, for you, you can call it what you want. It's our lifestyle. Like there was I'll give you an example. They were eating peanuts in the store, right? Where I was working in the Botanica. And Miss Lucy was like, oh, you want some peanuts? I turned around, I was like, yo, you got peanuts? Like, for real? She said, yeah. I left. I was like, yo, I'm going home. Talk to y'all tomorrow. She was like, are you serious? There's no reader here. Either put the peanuts away or I'm out. And when I tell you, when the police walked through the door, I was walking out. I didn't give a fuck. I was out. Oh, it's a coincidence. I don't give a fuck. I'm out. I'm not staying. I'm out. Like, call what you want to call it. I'm telling you what I do. If you break a mirror, man, I'm just looking at you like, damn. I hope you prepared for that. Like, there are things that I'm just not going to do. Now, when it comes to hurting kids, I'm not going to hurt a kid. And you have some people that go, well, what about the evil kids? What about those kids that take a life? Well, hopefully I won't meet them. And if I do, I'm a two-piece there. So I'm not going to put no magic on them. Maybe they need a good ass whooping. Like, no. But, or some attention. But I'm not going to do nothing to hurt no kid. Like, that. I don't give a fuck what you do. Yeah. And I know people that say, well, I deal with it when I get to heaven. What are the peanuts about? Peanuts to us mean police. Like, whenever you eat peanuts in the shell, the police is coming. So to us, like, my moms would make us walk to the corner and eat them. So guess what? I just stopped eating them all together in the shell. Now, if they not in the shell, I eat them all day. But if they're in the shell and you got to open them, I'm leaving your house. I'm out. 2 piece. You ain't got to worry about that. If you spill pepper, I'm out. I also have to remember my upbringing and how I was raised and where I was raised at. And I'm good with that. Like, people used to crack jokes on us and things like that. And we used to be like, okay, so, and then when their lives was fucked up, we'd be sitting here saying, well, we told you. So, hey, you figure it out. I'm not going against it. I'm not brave like that. Me and my son and my brother in the religion, I don't eat pumpkin. And he, it's the winter, the fall, and pumpkin spice and all of that is just everywhere. And they took pumpkin away from me. And he was like, it's imitation pumpkin. I said, I don't care. You can be pepper so when you drop pepper, everybody in the house is ready to go to war. Now, you can throw pepper in your house now and think, well, let me see if it don't work. God bless you. You walk in the lion cage on Monday and he ain't bite you. Don't mean that he ain't gonna get you on Tuesday, or maybe that evening. So I'm not that bold. So if you drop pepper in your house, everybody's going to war. So like black pepper or the guinea pepper, they tell you real quick, don't drop that. Them little black peppercorns. Yeah, nah, we don't play that. That's like serious. That's serious to us. When someone dies in your family, we cover the mirrors so they won't be trapped. I'm not going against that. Like, I'm not going against that. There are things that, that are just, to me, that I don't care what you do. I'm not doing it. I don't eat with a fork. So you can eat with a fork all day. I don't do it. I don't do it. I don't do it. You could eat with a fork all day. I just don't do it. So, you have people that be like, oh, well, I'm not listening to that. That's great. What about those people that never knew about these things? They've been living productive lives. That's great. I know. So now I'm held accountable. So, and uh, I don't care who says what. I'm not doing it. I don't, nah, I don't do it. You know how, like I said, in your spiritual stuff, how far will you go and who can change your mind and is there room for change? For me, certain things, because it's embedded in me that, you don't wear two hats on your head. Two hats mean two ass whoopings. Before that day is out, before 24 hours is up, you will get an ass whooping. And an ass whooping doesn't have to be physical. Yeah, an ass whooping doesn't have to be physical. It can be verbal. Somebody can verbal give you a lashing. You know how the old people like, don't make me give you a lashing. And most people be thinking, oh, they're going to beat me. No, they might get your ass and snatch your ass for the gods. So a lashing can be also verbal. So two ass whoopings, I don't play that. Okay, so a fork, because the spoon catches all your blessings. A fork, the blessings go through. So I don't eat with a fork. But it's for me, for me. I can't, dictate or tell you what you can't do. There are things that I just won't do. And I'm just stuck with that. Like, yo, you can do it. You can do whatever you want at the end of the day. That's for you. I don't. Now, Papi Oshun had made a comment and he said, when you make food for your ancestors, you don't use salt. People went in an uproar, right? People did. They went in uproar. Like, what? What is he talking about? My aunt is older than Methuselism, and I love her. And I always go with wisdom over anything else. And she'll have that saying, I've been your age, you ain't never been mine. And that is fact, right? They don't put salt when they feed their ancestors. They don't. So when I heard everyone say it, I just kept quiet. And when me and him spoke, I said, yo, I'm the same way. I don't put salt on it. And, you'll have people say, well, you got to do it or you can do that. And I'm like, that's great, for you. But don't come to my auntie in them house and, you know what I'm saying? So I want you to be prepared because you can do whatever. And she'll be like, baby, you go on over there and you give to yours over there. If they take salt, that's good. But over here, we don't put salt in it because salt for us removes spirits and we need all our spirits with us. The same way when I go into New Orleans, there's a ritual that we do in our head when we cross those levees. And then there's a prayer we do when we leave. My mother taught me when I was a kid, my brothers and all of them do it. It is in our head. Now, if you tell me, well, you can't do that, right? See? So when you tell me, yo, you can't do that, you can't, I'm going to look at you and say, well, you can't do that. It's things that I have to do. I can't disrespect the very people, I know they lying, the very people that brung me here, the very people that started me, that I stand on their shoulders. That I can't do. So, but like I said, I posted it and I asked everyone, what are things that you will not do? I'm talking about even, and you're not being disrespectful to your godparents. You're not being disrespectful to people. It's just certain things I don't do. Listen, we were taught to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. My kids, and they're grown, they say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. It's people that's younger than me. I call them Mr. and Mrs., right? Because that's the way we were raised. When I got to New York, people got in an uproar. I'm serious. People got in an uproar. Don't call me no, you're not supposed to borrow. Okay, so we're going to get on that. But people got in that's right. People got in an uproar when I was saying yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. One lady was like, don't call me that. I'm not old, ma'am. Let me, and this is the, yeah, it could be seasoned, but not with salt. That you're correct. Nobody didn't say you can't season it. We just don't use salt. So when the lady told me, and it was spiritual people that told me, don't call me ma'am, don't call me sir. I said, listen, y'all go down to Amet, Louisiana, and you go over there to that cemetery. Go to the back, right? Because the elders are right there in the center and in the back by the tree. You go back there and you dig them up and you tell them that you don't want me, that they raised, to not call you sir and ma'am. And if they say, okay, don't worry about it, then I'll do it. But until then, I'm going to go with what they taught me. And I'm like, do you really not want to be, put up there with respect and honor? Like, we're not equal. I'm not going to go around and call you Gladys. You telling everybody. No. Let me tell you, my friend Sherelle, her daughter, Janelle, we standing there. She was like, yeah, and what? Hold on, stop, Ma. She was like, oh, but no. Put a handle on that. I'm not your friend. I don't sit and hang out with you. None of that. No. My nieces and them call aunt. Put an aunt in front of that. No. That's just the way I was raised. Oh, Benicia, how beautiful. I know you're going to have an interview soon. I think the 14th. I want to tune in. I've been sharing it, so I love you. Anyway, back to my mother. We couldn't hang out with my mom and them like there. But like I said, I'm gonna ask the question again. What are things that no matter what anyone says that you will not do? It's just bed in stone. Like, yo, I'm not gonna do that. I don't care how much money you give me. I don't care how much. Me neither. I don't care how much accolades or how much likes or whatever. I'm just not doing it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. I have split a pole, that's and go under a ladder. It is just certain things that I just won't do. I listen. I ain't walking under nobody's ladder. I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, you could walk under there. I'd be like, oh, okay, go ahead, bye. I'm not doing it. And that's beautiful. You're not supposed to eat before the elders. But, I had made a post and people cursed me out. I said, who eats first, the father or the children? And everybody was like, the kids eat first. I said, well, I wasn't raised that way. And, so they were like, oh, this is why my kids, you're not supposed to, and not sweep over your door. But these are things that no matter what, you're not going to do. So that's what we're talking about. Things that you won't do. I know all of trust me, there's a saying and a taboo for every fucking thing. If you in the South, don't sweep nobody's foot. They ain't going to get married. Money on the floor mean money out the door. 2 hats mean 2 ass whoopings. What? Oh my God. Oh, it's just when somebody died, cover a mirror. If a bird fly in your house, it all depends on what bird flying there. If it's a brown bird, a message. If a black bird, somebody dying. If you dream about teeth falling out, somebody's dying. You dream about death, somebody's getting married. You dream about fish, somebody's having a baby. You dream about mice, you being you being scattered all over the place. You dream about snakes. It all depends on where you are. The sweet foot, and I'm buying no do, no shoe. Listen, they said back in the day, you couldn't, you don't buy shoes or drawers. You don't buy shoes because he'll walk out your life. You don't buy drawers because he'll wind up fucking somebody else with them same drawers on, right? I brought my ex-husband, notice ex, right? I brought him his shoes. And he was like, I'm leaving. I said, no, leave them shoes there. I don't give a fuck. I'll give them away to a homeless person. Don't take the motherfucking shoes. He said, well, where am I supposed to go? Barefooted? Naked you came in the world, and naked your ass will leave here. He left those motherfucking shoes right there. My mother was tickled pink. My mother sat on that goddamn step and cracked up. She said, my daughter is crazy as cat shit. I said, I sure am. You told me nobody don't do no shoes. He was going to walk out my life with him. He ain't walking out with those. Naked in the world, he came in, naked he'd go out. What? You're not supposed to. And back in the day, if a dude didn't have a watch, that means he didn't if he didn't have a watch, he didn't have respect the time. So, but everybody was dragging me. Oh, we got cell phones now, and I used to be like, never mind, I ain't going there. I'm old school. But yeah, no, you didn't buy none of that. It was a lot. It's a lot of things that I just don't do. And I found it so amazing that people have, some of the same taboos, and they're not even taboos, it's just the way you're brought up. But the question really, because someone asked me, is how do you take your upbringing and mix it with your spirituality? Because what if they tell you, like, you have people that say, well, if you're the child of Ogun, you can't have a dog. What if I had my dogs, my fur babies before? I got to get rid of them? I got to kill them? Like, isn't that horrible? Like, these are my babies. Why? What? You child of Ogun, you can't carry a weapon. What if I'm a cop? So I'm just gonna go out there and be, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, yo, make it make sense. And technically, I'm gonna be honest. I tell you, I don't know everything. I didn't know. Excuse me. I didn't know what to tell them. I was like, ask, like go and ask. Don't get up until you ask because okay. Um, I don't know. We put mirrors to face our door. You know what I'm saying? In the South, we put mirrors to face our door because it sends back negativity. Or they always say evil can't see itself, and we put red brick dust by the door and by the windows and stuff. That's how we was raised, right? You cleaned your face. Yeah, you cleaned your face with red dirt, right? So, true story. When I got initiated, we from the South. Barefoot is us. That's us. We barefoot. We barefoot, baby. But we keep our feet done. They be pretty. But we just like to walk barefoot. We got to feel the ground. We got to feel the earth. They told me you can't walk barefoot no more because death comes from the bottom at the bottom of your feet. I said, I can't go and be down south, and I can't go and be down south because I like walking barefoot down south. Like I do. Most people don't, but we do barefoot. So hey, that red dirt. You brush your teeth with red dirt. You put that shit on your face. You put it on your belly when you're pregnant, so you won't get no stretch marks. What? That red dirt is powerful pudding. But they was like, no, you can't use that. That's dirt. Not to us. It's red dirt, And oh my God. You want to jump on? Let's jump on. Let's bring David on. Shit, you know me, I don't play. Let's bring David on. Shit. Add David. You know me, I'll always add you. I don't care. Shoot, get on. Because I love it. Hi, Benicio. How beautiful. How are you? I love you. I just love you. Oh my God. I love you. I love you so much. I'm your stalker. But, they told me I couldn't walk around barefoot. I was like, but we from Louisiana.
You ready for history?
Go ahead.
I'm daring people to really go into history, not tell people told them what, and not cite some Odu because people love to conveniently put Odu to everything. Basically, the Lukumi at one point did not associate, affiliate, and or like Mayomberos.
Okay.
So if you practice follow and you were of a certain Congolese Bantu-speaking region of people, those who were pretty much in the cabildos who had Lukumi done did not associate with you. Why? Because of the politics in Cuba. And what happened was that the people of the Congolese region were considered much more fiercer and much more willing to rebel and kill a motherfucker. Right? Than the Lukumi, who were considered very friendly, and they were just like, we're going to do what we got to do, we're going to take care of our own, do whatever. But one of the things the Lukumi people did really fear was what was considered very strong magic that they didn't know about, which was of that region. And one of the big things were powders. So you were not able to walk barefoot because it became a customary superstition that you might step on powders laid for you or somebody else.
Wow.
And nothing else. Because if you want to think about logic in regards to being barefoot, everything is born of the ground. Orishas are born on the earth. What's the first thing you got to do when Orisha comes down? They got to be barefoot.
Yeah.
think about it. We're always at the ground. The Orisha come up through the earth. Everything is up through there. So the people, they get caught on situations, on superstitions, and they don't think about the historical value of taboos and what was happening. I'll give you another taboo that you'll gag for right now. They tell you can't be in Okunda, right? Some of us say you can't be with 3 people.
Yeah.
Or groups of 3.
Yeah, that's me.
You know what that comes from?
What?
If 3 black ass men or people were seen together or more, it was considered a gang. In which case, they could lose their life and or be jailed in Cuba. So at certain times on street corners and things of that nature, you couldn't be on street corners and you couldn't be in groups of 3. So it's something that worked its way into our Urdu and into our system. But structures.
Wow.
Structures set in place.
Wow.
And not so much just thinking about 3 is going to be a bad number. It was because culturally 3s would lead to punishment, would lead to a fight, a death. You having to run from somebody needing to hurt you, whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of things that are really historical. Yawos with spoons. What do you think that is for?
Well, they told me because I can't. I have to grab all my blessings.
So in Cuba, you never gave what was considered the enslaved folk sharp objects because they ate with spoons because they can't jig you with a spoon, and if they did, they gonna kill you.
Shade.
Right. And so what was considered eventually is that as a Yawo, you were considered property of the Orisha and therefore slaves. And those Ides were relatively like shackles.
Okay.
And so you were a slave and or property of the Orisha, and therefore you were treated as such. Culturally, you were not given sharp objects because that's what slaves were not allowed to have.
Wow.
In the presence of those who they considered their owners. So if Orisha were your owners, guess what you're eating with? A spoon.
Yeah.
No one's going to tell you those things. But when you go back and you read and you research, it's not so superstitious. It's not so set in a mystical portion of things. It's actually tied to history.
Wow. But what makes us not want to do the research? Because we just follow the people that lead us, or?
Yes, because we got caught on what an oral tradition means to us. And while the oral tradition does mean a lot to us as people of African descent, if we are of African descent, in any way, shape, or form, it also leaves a lot of room for growth and error. That's just real. You talk about Okunda now, they tell you can't carry a firearm. You think they were telling you that way back when there were no firearms? No, it obviously was something else. So as time progresses, new things come into the mix. They start getting added. And so that's why my big thing is, if we're practicing in the United States of America, and we're following Odus and following certain things that only made sense in Cuba, it does us a disservice in this land.
Okay.
We need to know how Odu and how taboos apply in this land. This land right here.
Wow.
And so that's the issue that winds up coming where people hear it becomes a telephone game. That's what oral tradition can be as well. It's a telephone game. One person tells you one thing, by the time it gets to the 10, 15 person, it doesn't change.
15 times. What? So, wow, that's beautiful. So
you think about it, yeah.
But there's like so many taboos, or there's like so many. But why okay, so you come in, right? You're raised one way. Why do people want to strip you of that and just have you like them? Like, is that fair, or is that?
They don't understand. People feel what they don't understand. I had a big conversation with somebody. They were like, "Oh, you're a child of Ochun, you can't use Ruda because Ruda is known to specifically, it can cause miscarriage. It's very poisonous, especially to women and whatever. I said, totally understandable. I said, but long before I was a child of Ochun, I was been in a Piritita for longer than that, and I was always using Ruda. And one of my main muertas uses Ruda for everything. Okay, so guess what I'm gonna still use? Ruda.
He said,
"You're gonna impose on me something that A, didn't come up in my dad.
Okay.
And B, that I've been doing since before I had Ocha.
Wow.
Now we're gonna say it's all about Egu, Lobi Ocha. First of all, Iku, Lobi Ocha does not mean that. Iku is death, not Egu. So people need to stop with that. They don't know what they're saying. The whole purpose of Egu and understanding that we have ways that precede us.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you mostly told them a lot of the times they tell you don't forget the ways of where you came from. They'll tell you things of that nature because the reality is that we have been doing things a particular kind of way in our family, in our bloodline that holds power because it's been a continuous thing based on the regions we come from, based on how many people use said thing and prayed a certain way or did whatever. So there's power in that.
Mm-hmm.
So when someone comes in and wants to rearrange all that and ochify you,
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. Of everything.
Yeah.
They do it now with misas. They're like, oh, you gotta wear white, and people put on skirts and stuff. And I'm like, for what? You know how many misas? You know how many viejas I saw run misas in their pantsuits or in their batas at home, their house coats? Like,
you don't have to wear white.
Covering their head and putting on white skirts. Stop ochifying things.
You don't have to wear white. Wait, stop. Hold on. Stop. You don't have to wear white.
Listen to me. That is an ochification. Now. I can show you videos. People wore white, yes, for purification for certain works, especially if they had a muerto or muerta that worked specifically with that color. Think about how we really utilize epiritimo. If you have somebody who works in red, it's totally acceptable for you to come with a red shirt or a red sash on that breaks up the colors. The only thing we always consistently say is darker colors, all dark, is obviously going to be something. But wear light colors. I can come right now in a beige top and like jeans, and my muerto's going to come and work the same way it's going to work if I was wearing white.
Wow.
Ocho has become so popular that it has taken over and has implied, it has, what do you call that? When you imposed itself on other traditions. Look at Palo.
Yeah.
How can you look at me tell someone you can't practice Palo no more? Who are you? You're not even a Dapa or Yaya. How can you tell me what I'm not supposed to do in another tradition?
Wow. I'm still stuck at the white. I'm still stuck at the white.
If you connected to spirit, your spirit guides are in your spiritual court.
Mm-hmm.
You think that you can't connect with them anymore or any better because you're not wearing a certain color? Just think about that. The spirits that came with you when you were butt-ass naked, you weren't dressed in white when you were born.
Sure wasn't.
So they're working.
Wow. That it makes sense. It's logic.
It makes sense. But
yeah.
When it makes sense, people don't want to hear it because it's not what they used to hear, which never makes sense.
Candelo said, talk about pumpkins. I was told, you can't eat pumpkins. Like,
if you don't have certain obara in your especially like obara making things of that nature, which the pumpkin brings wealth. So
that's what I have.
Bring something, whatever. If you do not have that, there is no such thing as a general taboo in those particular instances.
Okay.
There's just nothing.
Okay. Because, they say, oh, you're the child of Oshun. You can't have pumpkin. I said, Oshun didn't take pumpkin away from me. Shango did. I was like, so.
And it's, think about it. The pumpkin that we are talking about is not a real pumpkin. It's a squash.
That's right.
And when we pumpkin family, it's very specific in what it is that represents that particular wealth. It's not a basic pumpkin. So this pumpkin you're carving out and making pumpkin pies with is not the same pumpkin. Have at it.
That's right. That's right.
Didn't know that pumpkin.
I love it.
That's not the pumpkin she knows. That's not what she's associating with that.
Wow.
We create a power with our taboos, right? We create power with our taboos and it's psychosomatic. We get sick if we eat something because we oh shit, I ate something. And it's like that. And now you're worried about it. Now your body reacts.
Wow.
It's a frame of mind. That's why in Palo and other traditions, they'll tell you, don't fear nobody else's brujeria. You feed it. You feed it power by fearing it. By thinking it got you. You got to walk into that fearlessly. You ain't getting me. Like, your mind frame follows everything. That's one of the things we taught. I know you in the bath class. One of the things, if you're in a state of fear and feeling like you can be overpowered that easily by somebody who may or may not know what the hell they're doing, you just power whatever work they do at you.
Yeah.
So you see me, I talk shit all day long. And I'll tell you, you're gonna see what? I'll buy it.
you deal with, since I have you on here, right? Because, I have like a plethora of questions. How do you deal with standing up and because you love the religion, right? It's your life. And when you see people manipulate it, use it, just really mess it up, how do you deal with not even exposing, just, saying, no, that's not the right way, and they come at you? Like, how do you deal with that?
I tend to be more so, there's fundamental basics in our tradition. For instance, the way we seek Orisha, that hardly ever changes. I don't care what Ocha you work. By the time you get to the seeding process of seeding Orisha, there is a process that can't deviate. Everything else around that is relatively up for interpretation to a degree.
Okay.
With various people that work. So when I get into Nico do, if it's not something that's so far off and so far left from what I know the seeding process requires, I'm open. I'm open to seeing it, to asking questions, or whatever it be. If I see something really messed up, I will say something. And if I don't feel it is received well, or that people just don't care, whatever, I will hand back whatever envelope and I will leave. Because I'm not going to be a part of it. Because once we start doing that portion of everything, we are signing witness with our check.
Yeah.
And I'm not signing witness to the nonsense, because you're not getting nary a dot, no, nothing from me.
So far, I haven't worked 3 Ochas. It is beautiful. I think it's beautiful, but it's a lot of work. It's not. How is it that one person can crown one person? How is crowning someone? You only need one person. And I'm like, how is that?
What do you mean by that? I don't get it.
You know how everyone is there and they're a part of it, of doing the ceremony? Yeah. Well, you have people that say, no, I don't need none of them. I do it all myself. I'm like,
no,
how?
Impossible. You cannot function. Let me ask you a question. I'll put it to you like this, because I've always said we are spiritual healers, we're spiritual doctors in a lot of ways. How many surgeons do you know go into the OR by themselves and do it?
I've not met not one. Name one.
Not name one.
Name one.
You got an anesthesiologist.
What?
You got a nurse on standby. You got orderlies to handle certain people when you need them. You have a full team, because someone's life is in your hands. So it's never okay to have 1 or 2 people. It's not an initiation, baby. I'm sorry to tell you. Unless it's something simple like collares, maybe. You know how to sing or sign. You know how to do whatever, boom, boom, boom. And I still would probably have 3 or 4 people there just to be on the stage. Someone's going to help the rompimiento. Someone's going to help do this. Blah, blah, blah. That's it. We're not, no. So I've heard of people doing stuff in hotel rooms.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. That's farce.
Yeah, but shouldn't a saint be there? Like, even giving beads, shouldn't your crown be there in front to when you give beads? I'm just asking.
Yes, at least without giving too much away.
Yeah.
At least one of the main pillar orishas should definitely
be there.
Absolutely, even if it's not your crown specifically,
it could be.
Have already been introduced to your crown.
Yes.
But the tradition tends to be post receipt of eleques or collares. You are usually on the mat sleeping next to the head orisha of that person, because that ceremony, when done in the proper context, is actually placing you under the mantle of that person's orishas. Protection. That's the orisha that you were what do you call it, introduced.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're under their mantle.
Question, because I got you here. I love you. No, he didn't. I don't know why everybody want to call me now. They better slow down. They get ready to get their feelings hurt after I finish. Question: can a husband? I'm just asking. Can a husband initiate his wife?
In our tradition, no.
Okay.
Because it's a little bit differently. It's a little bit different. It's still not exactly looked upon. There's usually someone else who's at least officiating, but they can have a hand in it. When it comes to our tradition, you can't even have a hand in it.
Yeah.
And that has been argued by some people with regards to ethics and morals. The reason we have that into place is because we can get clouded by our emotions. And because of that, we can work sometimes with a bias at heart and a bias in our energy. And what we always want in any type of setting is cool heads and clean hands. Cool heads, clean hands, good heart. That's what we're asking for when somebody is coming to do anything that we're doing for, right? So it's not to say that your husband or your wife cannot have those things, but they look at you very differently than the rest of the world does. They have a intimacy with you that nobody else does. They may have even maybe a sense of ownership to you that nobody else does. That can sway the energy, that can sway the cleanliness of their hands and how the heart functions and all that. So we eliminate that for ethics purpose. You know what I'm saying? It's just there's no reason to have this. Plenty of people in the community. There's no reason you're trying to do all that. Now, if it came to something like a rogation, and your husband and your wife need to rogation, you don't got nobody else around, absolutely, they know how to do it. They should be able to do it. But initiating somebody, no. Wow.
I love it. Candelo said, you're gonna get reported. Listen, last week this girl tried to come for me, but it was okay. What? Told me it is okay. It is okay and cited in Odu that a ruler initiated all his wives. But then I'm grateful the Luos got on and it was like, but you got to read the full context. And then I asked her that one question. I said, are you initiated? She said, no, my family is. I said, well, I'm not having this conversation with you. Block and delete.
Right.
You know, because it serves no purpose.
Folks got a lot to say, but they ain't did nothing.
I was like, So how do you feel about when people always bring, like, if you're gay, you can't get crowned, or if you're gay, you can't be a part of anything spiritual? How do you feel about that?
Impossible. In our tradition, it's impossible because it was founded by Black women. Let's just stop right there. Full stop. Our tradition was founded on the backs and on the minds of Black women. And by extension, who they wound up training, which were other women and homosexuals. And so we wouldn't have any of these traditions as an Ocha tradition in regards to what we have and how we know it, if it wasn't for Black women and for LGBTQ people.
Wow.
Let's just put that out there right now. So that's a no in our tradition. Now, by the basis of the arguments I've had all 100 years that I've been around with people, is the concept of cultural expectation. Okay? If you look back in Yoruba history, you'll see a lot of issues in regards to. You notice I'm not touching Palo.
Yeah.
Middle, so it's not my place.
That's why I didn't say it.
I know. I'm just giving heads up because what about
No. That's why I didn't say it.
Talking about it. Even if I know, I still ain't gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
I know my place. So. In the Yoruba history, they had a mortality rate that was severe. They would die relatively young. There was a lot of stuff going on, and so the idea of populating and having a bunch of children, which is why Ire or Mo becomes such a thing. The blessing of children becomes a thing. You are adding back to the fold of legacy to our people. Ocha tends to obviously imitate that process, right? Through counterpoints, hot, cold, up, down, left, right, male, female, whatever you want to call it. It's very binary. And so that belief, structured with a high mortality rate, tends to have people fear something like homosexuality. Why? Because if women start liking other women and they don't need use of a man, how they gonna have babies?
Okay.
And if a man doesn't want, you get what I'm saying? Yeah, language and culture evolve. Language and culture evolve and now start to seek their way into things like Ifa. The reality is that the prohibitions between male and female enacting with one another as polar opposites in order to create Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Two binary structures. People who tend to be homophobic and or say that gays have no place in something are viewing men and women who are gay less than men and or less than women simply because of who they're attracted to. And it doesn't make sense. If it's about male and female binary, then you being a homosexual in whatever shape or form shouldn't mean anything. I'm not no less than a man because I'm attracted to another man. I still got my working parts. They can still produce. And plenty of gay men get with gay women, not always through surrogacy, to have children. So there's still the process of being homo.
Wow.
It shoots down everybody's logic.
Wow. Wow. So
we have intersex Orisha. We have Orisha like Obatala, who's male and female, who's represented by the snail. One of the snails specifically who are asexual. They get to produce by themselves. They're perfection because they're intersex. They have both male and female parts and do not require to mate with anything or anyone else in order to produce eggs or produce anything. That is why Obatala is considered intersex, considered both genders, considered perfect in his way of being, while the snail's represented by him.
Sweet. You dropping jewels tonight, Puddin'. I love it. So I'm back to this white in the Misa. I'm still stuck on that. I'm still stuck on that.
What you wearing right now? Mm-hmm. Gray hoodie, white t-shirt, and a head wrap. You can go to any Misa right now. Headed and everything. I literally the old ladies that I used to go to their house, they didn't dress in white. They dressed in whatever clothes they had, and we ran the table, and we sat there, we prayed, and we passed the palangana around. And those were the old Puerto Ricans, but we didn't even sit at a semicircle. We sat at a whole damn dinner table, everybody in one circle, and we dealt with each other, and we just felt the energy, the corriente, in that particular manner, where the middle of the table was set up as where the fuente was, and where the candles were, and where it was never this formality. I had somebody I lifted to do a misa who tried to come in and tell me, no, this has to be done this way. Where? For you, maybe. But don't come in here and tell me, folks, this is what has to be done and this is the way it is. No.
You know what hurt? And I think that's why I had stopped going to misas. This sister was there and she was singing gospel, like old spiritual songs, and they told her to shut up. I said, ooh.
They would. You know why? Because folks are ignorant as fuck.
I said, ooh.
And that's why I get lifted to do misas. You don't never hear me ever come out with Sea Santísimo. I don't connect with a song I don't connect with.
I don't even know how to speak it, but wow.
But I can sit there and be like, there's a leaf in the song. and sing a song that I know I grew up in the gospel and still feel the Holy Ghost, still feel the Muerto, the spirits, whatever you want to call it, come up in that room. I have never done one misa. Ask anybody whose misa I've ever done. Did David come and sing a bunch of songs in Spanish? No. Guess what? The misa was done. Everything. Various cultures all over the Caribbean, from whether they had different names for it or not. Okay, because people love Abeyo, but they don't talk about Mayao. There's all these different type of things that people had to connect to spirit. In Hoodoo, they had their own things to connect to spirit. We can't sit there and strip that away because now you're doing this one thing. No, baby. You can't take my roots away. And then tell me to honor and Odu like O'Shea. That tells me I have to know my roots. I have to know the source of my river, else it runs dry.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. No, Candelo, he on here. What? We on here. Candelo was singing when we was at that misa in Atlanta. I said, go, brother. Go ahead. He was singing.
I got folks I work with and they start singing, This Little Light of Mine. We singing Keep Me Near the Cross. We sing all these old songs, Shine on Me. Like, we are singing all this because the power is in the unification, And then when I teach people in regards to the Piritimo, I'm like, you really want to blow your mind? You don't even need to say half those fucking prayers. Let's be real about that. Any prayer will do. Stop with this book that Alan Kardec wrote. Like, he invented spiritualism. He invented spiritism, but he didn't invent spiritualism. Spiritualism has been around for a very long time, and people have been connecting to that. What it brought, though, collectively, as you can see, transculturally was unification of people. They were singing in the same songs, in the same rhythms. When you pray in a cadence. You don't pray with "Our Father who art in heaven." Someone else, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name." No, follow the rhythm. Our Father who art in heaven. You're staying with the president of the table. You're trying to create a rhythm. Y'all could be chanting "Nam Myoho Renge Kyo." It don't matter. It don't. You have to just be in that frame of mind of building energy together. It's sound energy. It's connection. What are we all doing? That's why I say prayer. I don't say the prayer in Spanish. I say it in English because I know the Our Father in English, and I know Hail Mary in English. I don't know it in Spanish. Does it take away from it? No, because it's not spoken in Spanish. No.
Wow.
Think of how incredibly racist it is to suggest such a thing. That somehow, because you pray in a different colonizer's language. Think about that. But because you speak in a different colonizer's language, then somehow your prayers are not as focused and or your work is not going to get them. Y'all don't sat down somewhere.
So the person says they're confused. Do they not the person said they're confused. Do they not do tradition? Or do they not do tradition? Or keep it going?
But what's traditional? What traditional? I always, when people want to say it's tradition, I always ask them, what was the tradition? What was the tradition before that?
Yeah, because see, my mom and them, they sang gospel songs. So usually, no lie, nobody can ever say, now I know how Mises ran. I sit there, I don't even sit at a table, because the first Misa I ever went to, I was with Claudia and we was in Jersey. And like I said, they were singing gospel and they told me to shut up. I said, oh. So from that day forward, because I'm always around people that speak Spanish, so I just sit back. I don't say nothing. I just sit there and take notes. Because to me, it's like, we're not welcome here, so we just going to sit back. That's it. That's it. So
we're not talking about throwing the baby out with the bathwater. But what I'm stating is that language is very important. And so when you start talking about traditions and you're implementing it as a staple, as it needs to be this thing, but you're not respecting anyone else's tradition and accessing the same thing, that's a problem. Because the reality is, before there was an El Santissimo, there were no songs being sung to Jesus or prayers being done to Jesus and or the Mother Mary. There were other practices that connected people to spirit. So long before Christianity came into the mix, do you think Misa-esque things were not happening? Because that's not the case. That's why we had shamans. That's why we worked with the chaman of the Indio Cuadro, of the Comisión. Excuse me, not Cuadro, Comisión. We worked with those Indians specifically because we knew that these people knew magic and they knew the land and they knew the herbs and they knew all the things. So how can we praise all these spirits for knowing these things prior to what we're doing now, but we want it to all be happening with what we're doing now and how we're doing it now? Come on. It doesn't make sense. So before we start enforcing that, we have to understand and strip it down to its base level. What is the purpose of a Misa? We're here to commune with spirit. Full stop. That's it. How we prepare the home or the space, who we invite to it, how we all connect together is the factors that make that run. Not the prayers, not the books. No. Y'all can have one damn thing of agua florida and not a whole banana, and y'all can still clean yourself with that and be okay. We tend to make everything a show. We tend to think because it was elaborate initially, and that's how it became, popular. Then that's what it has to be. And think about it. We came from humble means.
Yeah, because we didn't have all that. My auntie said that.
They were in freaking Ifas. They were in Hijaras. Ochas, covered in one piece of cloth. That was it.
Wow.
But now you have to buy soteras. Now you have why? Because that's the way it is. Is it? That's not why, because it's tradition now. Customs become tradition, which is the problem, because the customs don't always lie up to, pair up to the logic of why things are done. Think about it. Think of the customs we have now that if you trace back, were never done before. So I equate it to this. I always say, it's a story in my head. I'll tell this, to people when I talk about this subject. I say, okay, so it's like our ancestors used smoked ham hocks to make their beans. Mm-hmm. That's how we did it. That's our tradition. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. Okay. Now, somewhere in line of history, a disease came and wiped out all the damn pigs. What we had was turkey. So we used smoked turkey neck. So now we have a new tradition based on the old tradition. Well, which is the best way to make beans? They're going to fight you on it. Well, no, our ancestors did it with pork. Yeah, but now we're doing it with turkey. Guess what? The beans still slamming. Mm-hmm. What's the problem? The beans are good or they're not. There you go. It's got to be pudding. There you go. 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 Was it a show? So was it a show back then? You tell me. What all the things you do right now in a misa setting up right now that you see, is that the only way to do a misa? That's my question to you. That's all I'm going to ask you. Do you think before misas were ever even done that was the way it was? That everyone was gathering and dressing in white, or that they were singing those, or specifically saying Catholic prayers, as if a psalm book wouldn't work? Yeah. What is prayers to you? It's spoken word. That's it. The words, your body is tied to the elements. That's why all the elements have to be present on a border line. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what's coming out your mouth? Heat, from internal heat from your body. Air, which also comes with moisturization. Air, water, fire, right there. Your corporeal being is of the earth. You're a walking symbol of the border line. Now, Bovada is a conjunction with those present. That's why people who pay attention to the glass of water will understand certain things that are happening to them sometimes. When things are funky, usually a glass of water is funky. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because that is a representation of you. When you are cleaning out that glass, you're not cleaning it out just for Muerto, you're cleaning it out for you. You represent that symbol. You're cleaning out yourself and allowing yourself to be filled with the fluids of the Muerto, the fluids of the holy. Mm-hmm. It's all in those prayers too. But Alan Kardec came with a very specific lens of European lens, and he came, remember, initially to defame. Mm-hmm. He came to defame anything that was spiritual. He wanted to prove that mediums didn't exist until they blew his mind, and then he capitalized on it because he had position to do so. And before, if you want to go back in history, because I know I discuss this in my Bidimo classes when I give the history, before that, the people who were poor and didn't have access to that, they only learned about misas by hearing the people they worked for do them as silly parlor tricks and things of that nature. So things really went down, and they started asking them, can you assist with this? I know you know something about this, because you come from mystical people. Wow. And that's when you start seeing Lusabo start happening. That's when you start seeing more African and indigenous elements start making its way in, because now they started asking the help for their ideas and for their thing, because they naturally were believed to be people who believed in fetishes and people who believed in spirit world or whatever. But they did it for politics. It was the way to discuss politics and get together and discuss philosophy and what happens after life. And that was it. So we just started doing misas until the people that we worked for did it. And so what do we style it against? With all of its beautiful white tablecloth and everything? From the people who had the money who worked for us. Who we worked for, excuse me. Mm-hmm. Like I said, simple means as you are, you're connected to spirit. Mm-hmm. Wow. 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 Fighting. Wow. Yeah. Candela, we was there at that Misa where they had Ganesh and a whole bunch of statues on the table. I was like, what? I mean, to me, statues on tables is interesting. I mean, from what I understand and what I was taught, I would love to see the precedent of that. I would love to see who taught them or why they felt moved to do such a thing. Because if you're going to put Ganesh on the table, and Ganesh is a Hindu deity, then did you fast that day or did you eat meat? Because if you ate meat, had sex, or drank liquor, then you shouldn't be touching Ganesh. So unless you're adhering to your Muerto, who may be Indian, and you're going to adhere to the cultural ways of dealing with said entity, which is why I don't like to strip any cultural thing from entities and energies. I don't want to hear about, spirit doesn't have color. But no, we're not doing that today. Mm-hmm. So if you have a spirit that's Hindu and works with Ganesh, power to you. Are you also observing that? Because if your spirit's telling you that it's okay to eat a beef sandwich and go touch Ganesh, I'm questioning your spirit as a guide. Mm. on why they're on the table if you don't have an Indian muerto.
Makes sense. You're dropping jewels. Is there an Odu that states you can't? Oh shit! I knew I was gonna get reported. I knew it. Hey, y'all know people will report me, and I don't care. Welcome to Get Mug Monday. I was having a great fucking interview with David Sosa, and it was great. It was great. A great interview with David Sosa out here. The Devil Came for us. What? I know. Where is he? We got to put him on. Somebody. We got to. Okay. We got to. Oh my God. I'm back. Y'all got questions? Make sure y'all put them up. Hey. Y'all got questions? Make sure y'all put them up. So I'm back. Hey. I am back. And that one.